Alright, so you're welcome to my channel once again. If you ever wondered how it's like to live here in the UAE, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and how work conditions and stuff is like, I would like to put this video together to give you a view or give you an idea of how it's like. So in this video, we are going to look at some pros and cons of living in the UAE, some advantages and disadvantages of living at this place, yeah. So let's go.
Yeah, it's Tonchi, movement.
If you are here and you are a worker, you are likely to get accommodation from your company. Your company will give you an accommodation, and it usually depends on your position and the kind of work you are into. So it's either they give you an accommodation or they'll give you maybe an accommodation allowance. Yeah, but in all cases, company is required to accommodate you. So that is one pro, is an advantage as compared to other places where you have to accommodate yourself out of your salary or out of your earning. Okay, yeah, and the second advantage that I will talk about is that most companies here provide medical insurance. So if you were back home in Ghana, it's like what we call NHIS, the health insurance. The companies are obliged to provide you a health insurance to take care of your health needs. And even though you will not be 100% covered when you go to hospitals, but to a large extent, sometimes you'll be covered like 70%, 80%, like that. You only have to pay a minimal amount whenever you visit the hospital. So I would say that is a pro, one advantage of living here. Now, one thing too is that salaries here are tax-free. Okay, you will not be taxed. If I'm making a comparison with back home in Ghana and other places, we don't pay as you earn. So you pick your salary just as you receive it, and that is it. It doesn't go under any tax. It's not under any tax regime. Yeah, I should say. Okay, and another thing also is companies will transport you to and from work, or you'll be given kind of a transportation allowance, and that is also based on the kind of position you occupy and the kind of work you are into. But in most cases, you'll be given transportation to and from work, so that is a plus also. Back home, I remember in Ghana, most of us will have to transport ourselves to work and back. And even though some companies may give you transport allowance, but it's not something that is general. There are a lot of companies that you have to transport yourself with your own, out of the salary you are earning. So this is a plus to the UAE and to Dubai. When you are, and Dubai, like as people know it to be Dubai, so sometimes I want to use Dubai to make things easy. Okay. Another thing too is that there is the population here is mainly expats. Lots of expats here, like more than 80% expats, and so living here will afford you the opportunity of getting to meet lots of people from different countries and from different backgrounds. You will learn from different cultures, and it will add to your repertoire. I think it will broaden your mind and let you look at things from a whole different perspective. So that is also, I would say, a plus, an advantage for living here. Now, if you are someone who also intends to maybe travel, or use this place as like a springboard to travel, this place could also afford you that, because you meet a lot of people that you can make some connections here and there, and through that you are likely to achieve that. You could move on from here to other countries of your choice. So those are some of the advantages of living in the UAE. Disadvantages or some of the cons. Mostly, the main thing I will talk about is that this place can be pretty hot, really. I'm African, and people think Africa is like hot, but I tell you, this place gets much hotter than it gets back home. It never, back home it never gets to 40, but this place sometimes it goes beyond 40 degrees, and it can be crazy, you know. But the good thing though, that kind of negates or kind of curbs the problem of the heat is that there are air conditions everywhere, in rooms, in buses, in bus stops, a lot of places there are air conditions, so it kind of takes care of the heat. So you are more like you move from your room in an AC, you go to the bus in an AC, you get to work, you are in an AC. But those workers who kind of get exposed to the weather, yeah, they could bear the brunt a lot. But also in the summer when it's very hot, there is a policy of workers not having to work between like 12 and 3, something like that, in order to keep them away from the heat, not to make them get dehydrated or heat stroke and all that. Another con is that the working hours. This place, the working hours could be crazy, I should say. Lot of the jobs here, you could go for 12 hours, and mostly you go for 12 hours, and it's like it's normal here. Lots of jobs, you go 12 hours, 6 days in a week, and you have 1 day off, and it could be exhausting. You know, you end the week feeling very tired, and what can man do? All right, and another disadvantage is that because of the long hours of work, you are likely not to have a social life, because by the time you close from work, you are tired, you get home, maybe you get something to eat, you stay up a little bit. Those who like to go to gym will spend maybe an hour or something in the gym, and you are back to bed to sleep, to prepare for the next day's job. So in effect, you will find out that you go the whole year without having any kind of social life. And it could be something else sometimes, you know, especially if you are somebody who had a social life before you moved here, you are likely to be deprived of that. But well, man has to sacrifice something for something, so what can you do? Now, because of the fact that you work for long hours, even during your off days, sometimes you might not even feel like going anywhere because you're already exhausted. So you want to stay home and sleep and catch up with some other stuff. You might not even want to go anywhere. So the social life is more or less completely cut off. Now, another thing that I should be frank with you is that most companies don't play by the rules. The UAE has some nice labor laws that are supposed to ensure that workers are treated well and all that, but a lot of companies don't play by the rules, and workers are not treated so nicely. And the sad thing too is that most of the workers are also scared to report whatever maltreatment they are taking through, and so some of these companies get away with whatever unfair treatment they mete out to their workers, and it's not cool. I'm not saying it's only this place. There are lots of places in the world workers get exploited here and there, but it could be a bit heightened here. I don't know. I've not been to all areas, but there have been reports of workers being unfairly treated here and there, and I've personally witnessed some and heard some. When you're on the street, you talk to some people, but the sad thing is that most of these workers, for fear of losing their jobs and maybe getting deported after they've lost their job or whatever, do not report these cases. And so even though there are rules and there are laws that are supposed to govern these areas, if the cases are not brought to bear, there's nothing there's nothing those agencies can do than to just be there. All right, so yeah, that is the reality of living and working in Dubai. So if you intend coming in, yeah, brace yourself for some of this. All right, yeah, if you stayed with me up to this point, then you must have loved these videos. I would ask that you subscribe to my channel. You look down, you find a red button, you click on it, and then you click the bell beside it so you'll be notified whenever I upload other videos. Also, leave me a comment, ask me a question if you have any questions about this place, and let's get interactive. All right, thanks for watching. God bless. Catch you another time.
Yeah.